in a discussion.
There always used to be, if I don't agree with you, I still respect you. That's what's changed. Now,
Exactly. Like,
if I disagree with you, I hate you automatically because you're on this side, I'm on that side.
yeah, if you start off our discussion with words like Hillary and libtard,
Yeah.
like I immediately dismiss your opinion. And it's not because I want to dismiss it. It's like you're dismissing yourself. Starting off with, like, me and my grandfather used to have these spirited debates, and he hated everything I said. I could tell that he disagreed with everything, but he still said, you know what? That's your opinion. Like, you have the right for that. Like, you know, I don't agree with it.
Well, I feel, too, that if there is, amidst all this chaos, if there sincerely is a silver lining, it's that there's a lot of people coming off the sidelines and participating now.
100%. Last election, I really do think the left got lazy. The left thought to themselves, especially in my bubble of people, I know it happened. You know, we all live in these kind of insular bubbles due to, like, Facebook and Instagram. Like, if you don't like somebody's opinion, you can just unfriend them.
Yeah.
And after the course of 10 years of social media, you realize that you've eliminated your friend base to just people who think what you think. And so a lot of people
fuel the
were getting
anger.
online. Yeah. All it was positivity of, like, I can't wait to have a female president. All you have to do is drive through backwoods North Carolina and realize that the threat was real.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't sneak up on us. It didn't, like, when everybody says we were so shocked at the poll numbers, it's like, then you never drove through rural America at all.
Yeah.
You know, from July to November of 2016. Like, if you had, you wouldn't have been surprised.
Yeah.
It's the thing with this past election was, I think for the first time it gave people, like, we like to pretend as Americans that racism is over and we've conquered it, and it was literally just it was an underbelly, a vicious, gross, disgusting underbelly of Southern America. And what this new administration did was pop the top on it and say, it's okay to come back out.
It definitely put a mirror in your face.
For sure. And it was frustrating because as a progressive Southerner, as someone who loves the history of the South, but also realizes that we had a lot of missteps in the South.
Yeah.
Seeing people stand up for the things that, like, were the missteps is the most disheartening thing as a Southerner.
Do you think that the climate we're in right now hones in on more of the social responsibility of your platform as an artist?
100%. This is the first record I've ever made where I really get into politics and I choose a side and I'm vocal on a side. For a long time, I realized, like, I'm not Dylan, I'm not Woody Guthrie. You know, I'm not going to tell people how to feel. I feel like it's become artist' responsibility to remind people that we are human beings.
Yeah.
First and foremost. Like, I don't care if you're red or you're blue, or I don't care what fucking color you are. We're human beings at the base of it. And if we don't take care of each other, and if we don't look after each other, we're going to meet our demise very quickly.
Yeah. Well,
and I think it's resoundingly, like, huge this upcoming election. And I think, like you said before, sidelines is a great way to put that. I don't think people are going to sit on the sidelines in this next election. Hell, I don't think the 2018 primaries are going to. I think we're going to see a huge overflow. I think a lot of the ideals that we associate with, like, the kind of hate of the Republican Party are very much deep rooted in the elders of that party.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I've been thinking about lately, like, you know, when I talk to people, they're like, well, what can one person do? And in all honesty, the way I look at it is, if I try to take whatever backyard I'm standing in and make it a better place, the hope in my interactions in my daily life with other people, then the hope is that you would hope other people in their backyards are doing the same, and that it all adds up to something.
Exactly. Like, that's the thing, is anybody, that's so short-sighted for anyone to look at what is one vote, what do I matter? Because if you take thousands of those one people and put them together, that's a thing, that's a movement.
Yeah.
It's one of those things for me where I really do think that this election, in any election moving forward, I think that mindset, that hateful kind of almost like, old white man mentality, literally is dying. It's dying. With my father's generation, a lot of that mindset is dying. I broke that in my family. I made sure that it ended with my father.
Yeah.
I made sure that from here on out, my kids are going to be taught acceptance. They're going to be taught love. They're going to be taught never to judge anyone based off of what they look like or what they believe in.
Yeah. Well,
and I think as long as the youth of America comes out in 2018 and 2020, I don't think we ever have a worry. I really do think the hateful bile that we associate with the right is a very small percentage of the right.
Yeah, and I also look at it, too, as like a pendulum, too. The pendulum swings one way, it swings the other. It always swings back at some point.
For sure. And I've had this argument with people who don't, some of my friends who disagree with my stances on this record. And I say, if I'd have put this record out the day after the Obama election, you would have fucking loved it. You have to understand that unless there's a giant screw up, every 8 years, you either are barreling your chest out saying my side won, or you're cowering in the corner saying the world's going to end.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah,
that's the beauty. It's as much as I hate some of our political system, that's almost the beauty of it. It keeps it in check. I don't know. I can't recall the last time that we had two back-to-back different presidents from the same party.
It's been a while.
Because you got to think Bush served one, and before that was Carter.
It would have to be pretty much.
Oh, it was Reagan Bush. Never mind. You're right.
Yeah,
it was Reagan Bush.
But when you think about the Democratic side, the only two would be Kennedy Johnson and then Roosevelt Truman. But those were both a death and an assassination. So.
Yeah, Kennedy and Johnson. Assassinations were what caused both of those.
But it's one of those things too, where it's like, at the end of the day, like nothing's the same, everything is the same, and the hope is to keep pushing ahead. Half step here, sure. Half step there. But
I really do hope that because this election, it didn't focus on where our country was going. It really focused on it was a fracture in our country. It broke our country in half.
Yeah.
People that had been friends their entire lives never speak to each other anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as we can get back to the point where we can have discussions instead of arguments, that's what I'm pushing for. And I encourage people after the show. I'm like, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, I'd love to talk to you. You're not going to change my mind, and more than likely, I'm not going to change your mind. But I want you to know that I'm not just based in voting on somebody that Beyonce voted for. I wasn't tricked by superstars telling me who to vote for or what CNN told me to vote. I made up my mind and based it on real things that I believe in.
Well,
and if you want to talk about the fortitude of my character, we can talk about that afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
But don't tell me I'm wrong for believing in hope and resilience and perseverance. Fuck you.
Yeah. Well, my final question is, what is a life creating and performing music and touring and meeting people of all walks of life? What does that taught you about what it means to be a human being?
It's taught me that, again, that my views were extremely insular. It's taught me to listen. It's taught me to respect things that are wildly different than me. I was born in Reidsville, North Carolina. I lived there for 18 years. I grew up surrounded by middle-class white people who believed in the same little Southern Baptist baby Jesus, and they voted for the same red ticket every 4 years. I did not understand diversity. I did not understand change. I did not understand how beautiful this fucking country is until I started playing music, until I got to travel the country, shake hands with people that I was brought up to hate, and learn that they are the exact same person as me. We just have a few different views, but we still breathe the same air. We still do the same things. We still enjoy the same basic things. We just have a couple slight quirks, That was the biggest thing music taught me. Music taught me to be a better human being. Music taught me that we're all the same, but we're all totally different, And that's the one thing I encourage anyone to do. I talk to kids about it. They asked I'm just graduated college. I want to play music. What do I do? I was like, do it for a year. Travel the country. If for anything, just to see that your little piece of America is just that. Me and my wife were very fortunate last summer to be able to travel around. We did 29 of the national parks last year.
Wow.
And I tell anybody, go somewhere, go to a national park 5 hours away from your house or 2 states away. And not only will your mindset change, your physical, it's incredible what this country has to offer. Just driving from East Texas to Arizona and driving through a desert, or driving up through the Pacific Northwest, just seeing kind of how not only the terrain but the people change with it. There's so much to see other than Reidsville, North Carolina, or Waynesville, North Carolina. And I encourage people to go do that because I think that changes your mindset. I think people are just afraid of change because they don't know change. They haven't seen it firsthand. When you get to go out and realize that some of the shit that we're force-fed in the news is complete and utter bullshit, and that people, for the most part, are good people. I don't care if you're a Baptist or a Presbyterian or a Muslim or a Jew. I don't give a shit about that. At the end of the day, we're all kind of fighting that same good fight. And I think music teaches you that a lot quicker than, maybe a sales job in a small town.
Well, I think